Welcome back to Season 4 of Madness on GameCube Games. Today it's Animal Crossing, Kirby Air Ride, and Pikmin 2.
Wow!
You want to do that again?
Yeah, do you want to start over?
Yes.
We can start over.
3 games that met an early end, and only one of them can potentially be redeemed. Today, Austin Hargrave, Jeff Fabre, Jared Knabenbauer, and Shane Gill join me, Forrest Lee, as we see which of these titles gets to move on. It's Kirby Air Ride, Animal Crossing, and Pikmin 2, and this is Madness. Welcome back to GameCube Madness. We're in the second round of the losers bracket. Today, it's Animal Crossing, Pikmin 2, and Kirby's Air Ride.
Kirby Air Ride. There's no apostrophe S.
Start over again.
Tell them!
Where's the apostrophe S?
I'm just saying, that feels grammatically
Look
incorrect.
how pissed he is that you said that.
That feels grammatically incorrect.
Yeah, I know. It's
It
weird.
does.
It's weird. It's Kirby Superstar, not Kirby's Superstar. Anyway, what do you guys vote for?
Does he own the superstar? I guess Kirby himself doesn't own the air ride. It's for everybody.
Right.
That's
part of the
fair.
game.
Makes
Fair.
sense.
He's a communist.
This is a weird bracket.
It's a very weird bracket. How do we even start talking about any
I
of
don't
these
know.
games?
It's a bracket of cuties.
I like
You're not wrong.
Yeah?
Olimar's got that wiggle.
But not Louis!
Let's be real. Olimar is kind of hot.
No.
Louis is like the side man, like bigs up Olimar.
Uh-huh.
I thought you were going to compare him to Big as the Cat for some reason.
How do we compare these completely uncomparable games? Because they're 3 completely different
we got-
genres.
We got like a sim.
I
We got like a racer.
I feel like you can compare Pikmin 2 and Animal Crossing because they're both relaxing, chill games.
Yeah, they're both pretty chill
Well,
games.
Pikmin 2 is kind of stressful at times, although the cave system.
Is paying off debt not stressful?
No, because you can do it whenever you want.
They
He
both-
al-
You
he
can play
also-
Pikmin 2 whenever you want.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess you can literally put the game in and play it whenever you want.
And to be fair, Tom Nook is a very, very generous debtor.
He gets a
does
bad
not-
rap.
He
Really.
does not have a very high interest rate because I think it's 0%.
I think so is the company that threatens you in Pikmin 2.
Threatens you to go to this alien planet
Yeah.
and collect garbage.
You know that poisonous planet you were just at? Go back there.
You guys,
Also take your stupid brother.
do you find Kirby Air Ride to be more of a multiplayer game or single player game?
Multiplayer.
I find it can to be more of the kind of game that I don't play.
Alright.
Savage. Laying their hand out.
Is it? Do you
from the
not play it
start.
because it just doesn't hit your interests, or because
Absolutely.
you just, or you don't think it? Do you think it's good or bad or
I
anything?
mean, I can appreciate from a mechanical standpoint,
Okay.
but I struggle to see what people see in that game beyond you drive around as Kirby. Why would you play that game over Mario Kart? I don't understand.
City Trial.
Well, right now we're talking about why would you play it over Animal Crossing and Pikmin 2.
The answer to that is I wouldn't.
And you were saying Animal
Full
Crossing's
circle.
not even a game.
I wasn't
That was
saying
before
that.
we started filming.
I wasn't saying that.
You did say that at one
I said
point.
it was an unreal. I said it wasn't a finalized concept. It's a first
simple
iteration
concept.
in the arc of New Leaf.
It's the prequel.
It's
to
the
that.
founding father of the Animal Crossing
it's the Kid
series.
Goku of
Yes,
of,
absolutely.
of Animal Crossing.
It hasn't gone Super Saiyan.
I feel like I need to reiterate that I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to suggest that City Folk at the bare minimum is not as good as the original Animal Crossing, and the DS version it doesn't have as much stuff in it either. In fact, one of the things that makes Animal Crossing the first one so good is that it literally has a virtual console system built in. You can actually collect these NES games, which is super rad. And
It's that good. The point of the game is to get other games to play instead
Yeah.
of that game.
If you want to you can phrase it however you want. It has an entire Okay, I like games where you can collect things. What's a better collectible in a game than other games to play? I mean, now, did I sit down and actually play the NES games all that much? No, I'd be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna play tennis for a second. I'm like, all right, that was cool. Let's go back to the game. But it was just cool because you could actually collect things that were usable.
At the time, it was cool to have those on a GameCube.
Yeah. At the time, that wasn't a very accessible thing. You could get an emulator, but there was no virtual console. There was there were collections. There weren't.
There's
that many
no way
of
to
them.
play old games in modern hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
and the only
and-
reason they took that out of the game is because Nintendo wanted to make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it wasn't
those-
like
Those NES games that you could begin though, man, just cream the crop for Nintendo. Clue Land.
well, they had
You got like Donkey Kong
Tennis.
they had to put games that didn't take up that
Yeah,
much space.
and then when the
Don't
Wii
you
came
get,
out,
like-
they sold them all for $5 a pop.
yeah,
Well, and you
They're
also
trying to
get,
sell
you can get the
holes.
card things too, and get even more of the NES games.
Even like the same ones.
Man, I don't
Well,
know what
wasn't
that
there,
is.
like-
I just put in the action replay and cheated
Oh,
my
you
way
like
to
cheated
it.
your way in.
You
Yeah.
know, we barely touched upon it in the first time we talked about Animal Crossing, but I actually really like the Game Boy Advance connectivity for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
loved
Island.
I loved my
Yeah.
island. I loved Pigleg. I loved just like hanging out with him, seeing what he was doing as he's chilling around
different
his beach.
plants on the island.
Yeah, and then when like a balloon and a present floated by, I was like, "Oh, get it, Pigleg!" And then he would bury it for me so that I could show it back up on the island and get that item. It would be a Nintendo game. It was super exciting.
I remember it baffling me that you could do the Game Boy Advance thing and then just walk right from the game. I'm like, I have the game, but I'm
I
like,
know.
not there, and I'm like going away.
And this is before the SP came out, so I had like the little crappy worm light. On
Oh,
top.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you turn off your Game Boy Advance, Pigleg dies.
It was even before the DS, so before people were used to playing with two screens at the same time.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It kind of added like a weird. Except we're talking about multiplayer for Animal Crossing before, where like you play as your villager and then you play as another villager. Myself and my brothers, I would be playing the villager, another player would be like playing with the Game Boy Advance. Obviously, that's like a more niche thing because not everyone had the Game Boy Advance.
I
and
doubt
the
that like
connection.
more than like 5% of people who played
Yeah.
the game like had that
I'm
experience.
just saying, like I that was a super cool part to Animal Crossing.
Not to discount it.
Yeah,
I don't want to throw away Kirby Air Ride. I mean, I know Shane doesn't like it, so there's a vote.
I'm not
It's
throwing away
gonna
Kirby.
get-
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I can't
didn't
get
say that.
into it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't want that. I don't think this is a three-way bracket that's just like, well, there's that one. Like, I really don't think
It's
that
not
that's
as easy as
the case.
Treasure.
Yeah, it's not like we're strolling away Sonic or
I
whatever.
would say this is definitely more even freeway than we've had before.
I would have more fun with Kirby than I would Pikmin 2.
I agree. Actually, I think Pikmin 2 is the weakest link here.
Yeah, Jeff fucking hates
That's-
Pikmin too.
I don't hate
That's-
Pikmin 2.
Jeff got
I
mad
think it's
about
I
Pikmin
think it's
2.
like the worst game in all the bracket.
Are you serious? Whoa!
Maybe not worse than Sonic.
Redeem.
It's second to worst.
I completely disagree with Pikmin 2.
How can
being
you
one
say
of the
that
worst
when
games,
Luigi's
but-
Mansion was around?
Luigi's Mansion is better than Pikmin 2.
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
I mean, Pikmin 2 is not a bad game by any stretch
I'm
of
not
the
saying it's a
imagination.
bad game.
I like
I'm
Pikmin
saying-
2.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's a tedious game, and I brought this up before. It overstays its welcome for sure. And
I mean, if you
I think
play
it
beyond
has
the actual ending.
Yeah, like I mean, like it. As like a puzzle game, it's a unique game, but it is the second of its kind. Again, Kirby Air Ride is a pretty unique experience. So is Animal Crossing. They're
Well,
the
I would say
originals.
How
They're
is
the
it a
originals
unique
of theirs.
experience? It's like the 20th kart racer that ever came out.
It's a unique kart racer, though. It's not like.
It's
I mean, I wouldn't
different
even call it a
enough to stand
kart
out, I
racer.
think.
You're not in karts. There's no wheels.
It's not a new genre.
I guess it's not a new genre, but
It's a unique take on the racing genre, though. Yeah.
Alright.
Got him.
All right.
And I hear where Jeff's coming from because I like Pikmin 2. Like it's an enjoyable game. Like I would go back and absolutely have fun with it. But I don't know if I would have more fun with that versus Animal Crossing or Kirby Air Ride on the GameCube.
I think Pikmin is just the type of game you play like a single time and revisit every once in a great while, and you're like, yeah, that's an experience
I don't agree with that. I replay Pikmin 2 every year.
every year.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you're lying.
Yeah, seriously. I don't believe you.
I play Animal Crossing
Like,
every
in the
year.
same way that Austin goes back to Animal Crossing to like relax and chill out, I go back to Pikmin 2. Yeah, I find it a very enjoyable, relaxing experience.
Shane gets a lot of pleasure out of a bunch of little things working for him.
and dying for his money making schemes.
Yeah. Just seeing as we mentioned before, just seeing the numbers go up is fun.
Yeah. You can also. I feel like you get that more in Animal Crossing.
That's
though.
really in line with your personality. Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, I'm
see
surprised
that.
you bring up the numbers go up argument, but I do think it's better better in Animal
I
Crossing.
mean, you're literally.
You're
I don't
literally
agree with that.
accumulating wealth. And
You are
like,
you are in Pikmin 2, and it's constant, especially when you're in the caves where even enemies are converted into cash.
What multiplayer would you have more fun with right now? Pikmin 2 or Kirby Air Ride?
Kirby Air Ride. If
I
you're
would
talking
have-
multiplayer specifically,
I would have more fun playing Pikmin 2 on my own.
That's not the question.
That is not what I'm asking.
Pikmin 2 with someone sitting next to me playing the single player.
That's not okay. Well,
You said the same thing for Paper Mario. You said the exact same thing for Paper Mario.
The answer is Kirby Air Ride.
Kirby Air Ride is by far and away the best multiplayer game between
Of
these
these
three.
three, yes.
It's not even close.
It's
Like one
it has
has
multiplayer.
One has asynchronous multiplayer.
If it didn't have the best multiplayer out of these three, I'd be extremely concerned for it.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm not. I mean, that's what I'm trying to make. It's an obvious point. We can't like brush it aside. It's obviously the best multiplayer game between the three.
So then, reverse question: which one has the best single player?
Pikmin 2.
I would say Pikmin 2.
If we're talking, I mean,
I would say Animal Crossing.
it's.
I don't think the gameplay loop of Pikmin 2 is that fun.
I
Like you just go out there and you gather shit and you just you bring it back to your ship and you get more Pikmin.
You're certainly describing the game, Jeff.
That's all you do.
You
Like,
go
I
out,
mean,
you collect Pikmin, you accumulate more wealth, and as you do, you expand more of the world. You explore more of the world. You find newer Pikmin that can do more things.
Are you saying
You can do more
Bananigans
things.
didn't mean anything to you?
The what?
you
No, it
saying
meant a lot to
Bananigans
me.
didn't
I'm
mean
not
anything
saying that Pikmin 2 is bad. I want to reiterate
Sounds like
that.
that's-
He's certainly getting angry about it, though.
You certainly
I'm
said it
just
overstays
saying,
welcome
I don't
like a
think
bad
it-
house guest.
It overstays its welcome. I think it's a little bit longer than it needs to be. I also think that
I think
it's
that was
not as much of like the puzzles in the game and like the loop of gameplay just isn't as satisfying to me as like Animal Crossing just as a whole. There's like a clear progression, I guess, in Animal
house
Crossing
gets
in
bigger.
that your house is getting bigger. You are kind of, I guess,
Well,
less so in this
in
Animal.
Pikmin 2, your ship improves.
Your ship improves,
It
but
doesn't
does
really
that
do much
matter?
for you, though.
It unlocks new levels.
Yeah, but
But levels
could
is
just unlock
like
the
the
new
progression of
levels
the
naturally.
game.
I would say I have a greater sense of discovery and excitement of new things in Animal Crossing than I do Pikmin 2.
I wouldn't say that because you're actually exploring new areas in Pikmin 2.
Yeah, but in Animal Crossing, who knows what furniture I could get or find and then
Well-
punctuate into my house.
One thing that is like a real
In
positive to
Pikmin 2,
Pikmin 2.
who knows what kind of small household item you're going to find? Could it be a Famicom
Except-
Well,
floppy
see,
disk?
the exact
Could it
one
be
you
a-
found last time
Could
you
it be a
played.
Duracell battery?
I was gonna say like a lot of the lore and like descriptions of the items that you find in Pikmin 2 are really great. Like that is like a really
And
fun
like the
aspect
whole,
of the
whole
game.
backstory of like it being a post-apocalyptic Earth.
I like the lore,
Yeah.
I guess you could say, of the game, even if it's not like
or did they just land in LA?
it's too snowy to be in LA.
That's fair. That's real.
Animal Crossing has better characters.
Then Pikmin 2,
because
sure.
it has more than
Because
two.
Pikmin 2 has two. No, three.
No one cares
Sorry.
about Louis.
Or the boss. What even is his name? Mr. Boss? Probably.
Might as well. Let's just call him Reggie.
Okay, one thing that I've only brought this up briefly. One thing I always like in games, it doesn't matter what the genre of game is, I love collecting things. And I think even compared to almost any other Animal Crossing game all the other Animal Crossing games that's been released, the GameCube version has the most collectibles. You have the NES games, you have the pictures.
I don't know.
the villager
You're asking the
pictures.
wrong
That might be a
person.
newer
Well,
thing.
I was under the impression that New Leaf had the most things to collect.
Well, if you count the fortune cookie stuff, but I actually don't like the fortune cookie things because you just go to the store and buy a random thing and then you get it. It's kind of like lame to me. It's like,
Oh, so even though it has more, we won't count.
sure.
What is the argument here?
Yeah.
I like how you.
out of the
That's
three of these
this
things, I
Animal
think
Crossing.
it's
There's-
questionable that Animal Crossing has the most collectibles, and you like that.
Yeah, and I
That's
like
what you're
collecting
getting at.
things. I like the idea of the progress. I mean, like you think, oh, well, it doesn't progression in the sense of like other games, but it really does. Your house gets bigger, and over time you upgrade different rooms, and you get your or your HHA or what do they call it in the first one? I can't remember. You get the higher points. You can collect more of these golden items, and then
In
you can do all
Pikmin 2,
these
you
things
see
like
your
that.
army grow.
Yeah, but that's not really the same thing, is it? Because they'll just die. Because I'm not that good at it. And I don't want my villagers to die. In fact, that's the one thing I get a lot of strong emotions. It's all different kinds of emotions in Animal Crossing. You got the happiness, you got the chill vibes, you get the anger when you get a villager you don't want, you get the sadness when there's a villager you love that moves away.
You get the chill vibes in Pikmin, you get the anger when you see an enemy eating your Pikmin, you get the sadness when you see an enemy eating your Pikmin.
You get the chill vibes in Kirby Air Ride because it's so casual and accessible for everyone, and you get the anger when you realize you don't have enough friends to play City Trial.
Yeah, because nobody knows how to play, and nobody. It was, hey, when you play City Trial, and they're like, I don't know what that is. Right?
Can we just play Melee instead?
Yeah. That was kind of my
No,
experience.
Kirby is still super fun. Like it's a very different racer compared to something like Mario Kart, which of all the racers on the GameCube, most people only ever cared about Mario Kart. Not completely discounting F-Zero or anything else like that. I'm just saying, general speaking, like when you think about GameCube Racer, it's Mario Kart, and everyone else just goes,
I feel like you're saying it's easily accessible, and we already talked about how you only use the one button largely. I still will, some people might disagree. I still think it's not that easily accessible, but you could say that's a positive point as well, because it makes it hard to master, and it becomes this sort of, like I was saying with Melee, where it's like a gamer's game. I think that's why it's like it has such a very vocal, maybe small, I guess, but vocal fan base of people who really like City Trial. They really like Kirby Air Ride overall, because it really is kind of it's a simple but somehow deep game at the same time.
I think they tried to make it more accessible by putting everything on that one button, but in that turn, they made it less intuitive.
This comparison is really weird and really hard.
it is.
They're kind of the cutesy... Okay, am I wrong that they're all kind of the cutesy black sheep kind of like... Well, not black sheep's not the right terminology, but like the...
Not traditionally played.
Yeah, they're the kind of...
They all have cult followings.
Yeah. Like, they're off in the corner hanging out in the party, and they don't really want to talk to all the popular kids, but... They still...
They're not good with words.
Yeah, like me, which is why I'm on the show.
You know what? Something I really like about Animal Crossing is whenever any character talks.
Oh yeah, I freaking love the animal. For some reason, when I was a kid, I was like, I don't like that. It's annoying, so I turned to the text. But it's like
I did the same thing as a kid. Now I regret it.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't I? That was like part of what gave it the
You
personality.
get more of the personality if you hear like their different tone.
Yeah. And speaking of the personality, I like how all the characters have different personality traits. You had some people that just like the villagers are freaking jerks. And then there's other ones that are like peppy, and then I like how you get Jock, so I get like this little bird with like feathers, and he's like, you in his house, he's like, I lift weights, bro. And I'm like, okay, sure you do, dude.
You can change your town's
sure you do,
theme
Jay.
song.
Yeah? You can customize basically everything in the game. It's either customizable or randomized, one or the other, which I think, there's no town that's the same, and that's such a cool thing. And that was part of what, even though the multiplayer was kind of experimental and weird, it was at least a novel concept where it was like, you could play on the same memory card in the same village as your friend, which is something
it is a cool idea.
Yeah.
It did take up a whole memory card.
It did. Yeah, well, they sent you a memory card.
It came with a memory card, too.
Or if you had a memory card 59, like some kind of loser, some of us had the 251s or even the 1059s.
Yeah, what are you, not a real gamer?
Yeah, man. My multiplayer was me having one memory card and then my brother having another memory card, so that we have two villages that we like visit back and forth between.
So for our younger audience, memory cards are what we used to had to save on cards. Well, yeah,
I used to have a purple one that was
used
really
to have
big.
to save
I like that one.
on little cards, and now this is not worth the plastic that it's made with.
There's novel concepts with just having different villages too, because there were things you could only get in the villages you generated, and you had to actually physically bring them to other villages, like the different fruits, trees, and things like that.
The fruits in the other villages would be worth way more, so you plant them.
Yeah, so it was like another way to kind of power game, I guess, a little bit.
You know what else you plant? Pikmin. And then you pluck them, which is satisfying.
But you just sit there and press A over and over while you wait for it.
Yeah, but then you see all of them.
It's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah.
You can also be patient, and they become more powerful.
Yeah.
They do.
True.
They
And that is true, yeah.
And more fabulous.
I'll also say that
You can also be patient in Animal Crossing and wait for those stocks to go up for your turnips. So patience is a key and a virtue in both of those games. Kirby's Air Ride, where's my patience lesson?
That's a game about going fast.
Yeah, no patience
Can't even
involved.
stop.
sort of fast.
Yeah, kind of fast.
Marginally fast.
Fast-ish.
Fast-ish. If you drift in the weird, awkward drifting thing.
What do you guys think are like the big points or like obstacles or like highlights, big like arcs of the games? Like in like Pikmin 2, you kind of everything kind of culminates into like boss battles, and you kind of have to like overcome these like really big like physical enemies that are unique set pieces.
Does Animal Crossing
in Animal Crossing, is it
an
like
arc?
is it just like upgrading your house? Is that like really the big event of the game?
I mean, it technically doesn't end, really, does it?
I was like, does it even have an arc like that?
Well, and in Kirby, you could say like at least in City Trials specifically, there are moments in City Trials that kind of the concept of like levolution or whatever happens specifically from that game, because there are like events that occur in the game that affect the whole map.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like pretty novel for that time. Like no other game had done that.
Dropping some keyword terminology there. Levolution.
The only game I can think of that does that kind of stuff now is like
Battlefield.
Battlefield? Yeah.
I think there's definitely strong points you could say for every game. Like Kirby Air Ride has an incredibly unique multiplayer racing and even sometimes not racing multiplayer mode. Pikmin 2, it's really fun to manage all these units and the idea of you're making money through these items and trying to not get your Pikmin killed. Animal Crossing is just a chill-ass game where you sit around and feel less stressed about your life.
And with that, we're going to have to move into final points, I guess.
That's my final point, and I will vote for Animal Crossing. It's a chill game for especially growing up as a kind of a loser.
Sympathy points.
I'm not using sympathy points, otherwise I would have used them in the first bracket when it's still in the winner's bracket. In fact, I specifically didn't crutch on this. But like as someone who had like some anxiety issues, wasn't always great at making friends because of just, I don't know, a lot of differences and that's an entire spiel. But like Animal Crossing was something I could come home to, go visit my villagers, hear that peaceful music, and just kind of chill out and feel good about everything. And I can't think of a whole lot of games where that really, other games that really fit that vibe for me. And I also want to stress and emphasize again how unique of a concept Animal Crossing for the GameCube was when it came out. There was no game like Animal Crossing that had these sort of time-based events that are happening that no one seemed to care about this when I said it initially, but even like almost 2 decades later, it's like, I'll be on Saturday, like just be laying around Saturday night, and I'm like, I could go see KK because it's Saturday night. Or, oh man, it's Halloween, I could go back to my old village and do the thing. It still gives me reasons to play to this day.
It sounds like escapism is pretty important to you for your reasoning. And I think it is for mine as well. I think when I play Pikmin 2, it feels like I'm in another world, like nothing matters. It's all about managing my army, watching the numbers go up, chill-ass music in the background, just a full-on feel-good time. I personally don't really get that with Animal Crossing. And I can't really get into Kirby Air Ride either. So for that reason, I'm voting Pikmin 2.
And both of your reasonings there are valid. And, yeah.
One of them's a little more valid, but just kidding.
Yeah, mine.
I didn't specify which.
I did.
When we first talked about Kirby's Air Ride, I chose it because of something I believe, like the arguments, and also because of the premise of things that I think I missed out on and how much I thought I would have liked the game if I had had more people to play it with. In this bracket, however, I don't think I can pick it because I've just played the other games so much more. And I've played through Pikmin 2 at least a couple times at this point, and I've played probably hundreds of hours of Animal Crossing. That being said, I think I just enjoy the gameplay loop of Animal Crossing more. There's just so much more things to do. Austin brings up really good points with like just being able to keep coming back to it, and I've even played it like recently within like the past couple of years, just the first iteration of the game again, and still had fun playing the game, even though there are better versions of it out there. Even though we brushed over it as well, like I really actually enjoy collecting the Nintendo games as well. That's like a really novel concept that's only in that game.
They built a whole Switch online. They're like, buy our NES games. Like, bitch, I already got Animal Crossing for the GameCube. What do you want from me?
I knew it wasn't going to be Pikmin 2. But... So, what I go back to is I put myself back into high school Jared during that time when the GameCube was out, and I think about what games I looked forward to and had a reason to go play my GameCube, and the one that I keep coming back to the most of all three was Animal Crossing. Like you said, like the KK Slider stuff on Saturday nights, I was planning my life around that. It's almost like...
It's like an MMO in a weird way.
I was going to bring out the exact same kind of comparison. It's not quite that.
Got a raid on Saturday nights.
World of Warcraft was so much worse. But like it was that kind of mindset. I was like, oh yeah, like I am planning my life around this game because like there are things I wanted to do. Or like if I know KK Slider showing up Saturday nights, like 7 p.m. I'm gonna start playing Animal Crossing, do some chores for an hour, and then I'm gonna go see KK Slider and get some sweet chill tunes. So of all of them, like I personally did have the most fun with Animal Crossing, so I'm gonna vote for that.
Makes my job way easier. Thank you.
No problem. Vote Kirby.
I think this is the hardest vote I've had to do because I have the least personal investment in each of these, and our arguments were like, we're good. All three of these games, we're good. And sure, for the sake of just having this happen, I will vote for Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah. Because they all deserve at least one.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's almost a completely unfair point to Kirby Air Ride, but it's also kind of just factually true. Not very many people I know play Kirby Air Ride, which makes it hard to get a group of people to play it. Because it's the kind of game where you always like, who wants to play Kirby Air Ride? And everybody's like, just trust me, it's fun, let's play it.
Do you have Double Dash instead?
Yeah, they just end up playing Melee or Double Dash or something like that.
Who do you think should have had the chance in the losers finals? Let us know down below. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe because we have new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And tune in next time for the losers finals, the winner of which has a shot to win it all in the grand finals. See you then.